This is ESBR Boxing. Delighted as always to be joined by Greg. We are breaking down the world title fight rematch between Mauricio LARA and Leigh Wood, taking place on May 27th in Manchester. Greg, great to talk to you about this one. Fight, another big fight happening in May. Give me your general thoughts on this fight and what to expect.
Yeah, this I would say is on a par with another fight that I'm looking forward to the most this year. I love the first fight. I love the build up to the first fight. I love the balls that Leigh Wood has to go in with Bronco. Not that I think Bronco is that much better than him, but just how hard he hits, and it was a fight he didn't need to take. I'm absolutely so excited for this fight. This is the one that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I feel like it's a tricky one because obviously May 27th we've got all those cards, all those three cards. Michael Conlan's fighting Luis Alberto Lopez for a world title.
Yes.
Lawrence Okoli versus Chris Billen-Smith at Bournemouth Football Stadium. Is this? I think most people will be tuning into this fight because I think it's guaranteed to be the most entertaining. Would you
Yeah.
go along with that? Is this the fight you're almost looking forward to on May 27th?
Yeah, I think so, Elliot. I think that the other two fights are good. The second place for me, I would be more interested in Michael Conlan against Lopez because Lopez looked really good against Josh Warrington. He's got that kind of Martinez, former 160 world champion esque thing about him. He doesn't care where he goes in the world. He's comfortable. But for me, in terms of value, in terms of what's at stake, in terms of action, it's definitely got to be with Lara for me.
Great. So we will get into it. You are the best at ESPR and kind of breaking down fights, talking tactics. I know you're doing a prediction video on this one, so I don't want you to say too much, but in a nutshell, how does Leigh Wood win this fight? We know in the last fight he was up on all three scorecards, got hit with a fantastic shot in the seventh round, and there was a bit of controversy over whether Ben Davidson should have stopped the fight or not. But yeah, what should the game plan be for Leigh Wood on May 27th?
He needs to stay focused for 100% of the time. He cannot lose focus for 1 minute, Elliot. Not even 1 second. Sorry. He needs to box on the back foot, turn off at angles. If he does that and keeps Lara moving, Lara's feet are not the quickest. That's his best chance at winning. Because for me, in the first fight, Leigh Wood was boxing beautifully at times. You need to know your time in these fights, Elliot, where you stand your ground and where you think, right, it's best that I back off and got on the bike now. He just stayed in the pocket a little bit too long and he got caught. So for me, he has to box in the back foot at angles and stay completely switched on at all times.
Mm. It's if Leigh Wood is to win this fight, do you think it's more likely going to be on points, or do you think it's more likely going to be a stoppage?
So a couple of me and the boys, I think you might have been part of this conversation, Elliot. We kind of paired it a little bit to Anthony Crawler and Barroso.
Mm.
It's got that feeling to it where I truly believe that Leigh Wood can stop him late. If Leigh Wood takes everything that he's got and boxes effectively and Lara is exhausted, I could see Leigh Wood stopping him, but it wouldn't surprise me if it went to points as well.
Yeah. We'll see. Just want to talk about not necessarily kind of like betting odds, but Lara was, I think it raised a few eyebrows when the odds came out for the first fight.
Yeah.
I think Leigh Wood, I want to say, was 3-1 at one stage to win
Yeah.
with some bookmakers, which I think a lot of people would have backed. And I can see why, to be honest.
Yeah.
How much of a favorite do you see Lara being in this fight? Are you expecting odds of 3-1 again? What are your thoughts going into it?
Yeah, I think they might be even a little bit wider now, Elliot, because Lara showed that if he catches Leigh Wood, he hurts him. It doesn't matter if it's the first round, the sixth round, or the 12th round. If Lara catches you, and it doesn't even have to be the cleanest shot, he's got the power to put any featherweight away in the world. So I think it'll even be slightly wider. I think you'll be looking at seeing Lara something like 1-4, 2-9. And I
Mm.
think that Leigh Wood, yeah, I think he'll be around about the 3-1 mark.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's fair, but I think a lot of people wrote Leigh Wood off for the first fight. A lot of
Yeah.
people were very confident what was going to happen. And I
Yeah,
just think that you could kind of feel like going on Twitter in between rounds, being in WhatsApp groups, when kind of round 4, round 5, round 6 went past, a lot of those people were just kind of piping down a bit because Leeward
yeah,
was winning all these rounds and looking good, but then it just changed just like that, didn't it?
yeah.
So yeah, wonder if we'll get the same result or something different.
Well, Elliot, I thought the promotion for the fight is one of the best that I've ever seen. See the whole dance with the devil thing,
mm,
and I really get. I think that that's a thing that it's maybe a conversation for another day, Elliot, but I think that's something that promoters really let themselves down with these days. See if you can come up with a headline and even a
mm,
promo video to
mm,
really get people into it. I think that gets so much more attention, and that one was perfect,
yeah,
absolutely perfect, because it was sending out the message: why are you getting in with Lara when you don't have
yeah,
to? So
yeah,
I really enjoyed it, and I'll be looking forward to seeing what they do this time.
yeah. I think Lara, he's got the look of a villain as well. I think he plays
Yeah,
the villain well. And I think the fact that British fight fans, know him as this guy who no one had really heard of, and he came over and knocked out Josh Warrington.
yeah,
And I think a lot of people kind of remember that fight, remember being stunned by
yeah.
it. And yeah, people knew exactly how dangerous Lara was, whether you're kind of a hardcore fan or more of a casual fan. So yeah, no, it was a fantastic build up to the fight, and a fantastic fight as well, fight of the year contender. Um, just want to touch on what's going to happen next. We were hearing that before this fight that Lara was either going to fight Lee Woods or going to fight Josh Warrington for a third time. Do you think that the winner of this fight will fight Josh Warrington next?
It is possible, Elliot, but I watch a lot of interviews with Eddie Hearn and things. I'm pretty sure that they've got a fight lined up for Warrington. Don't quote me on this if it's June or July. It will really depend who Warrington is in with, because Warrington, for me, is still a world level fighter, but he's definitely lost something.
Mm,
So if he wins, regardless of how he wins, yeah, I think that's the fight for each of them after that. But it'll be interesting to see how Josh Warrington gets on in his next fight, because he's not really looked himself in the last two or three. It has to be said.
no, I have to ask. So obviously, Lara Warrington have fought twice before. Um, Warrington's lost his last fight. Lara and Warrington had that kind of coming together, you could say, after the Wood fight back in February.
Yeah.
Um, would you we're just being honest here, we're an honest outlet. Would you give Warrington much of a chance to beat Lara later this year?
No, none. Sorry, I just don't. I just think the style's all wrong. You need to beat Mauricio Lara, you have to be relatively quick on your feet. Josh Warrington's not quick on his feet. Good boxer, great engine,
Mm.
really grits in, he's tough. He does not have the style to beat Mauricio Lara.
Yeah, no, I tend to I tend to agree with you. I don't want to sound like I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I don't think he did badly last time against Lopez. I just think it was a close fight and he lost it.
Yeah,
And Lopez is a good fighter. I just think Josh Warrington's gone from being someone who could have been best fighter in the division, could have unified, to someone who I think Josh Warrington could become world champion again.
yeah,
But he doesn't beat Michelle Lara. I'll ask the same question about Lee Wood, Greg. Lee Wood wins May 27th. That fight against Josh Warrington, I know there was talks about that fight being in a football stadium
yeah,
beforehand. That time might have passed, who knows? Obviously, they both got big fan bases, both fans of Leeds United and Nottingham Forest, respectively.
yeah.
Um, Lee Wood against Josh Warrington, just kind of in a nutshell, thoughts on that fight?
Good fight for different reasons. It's not that I think Mauricio Lara is a much better fight than Lee Wood. People might call me mad. I still think Lara and Wood's 50-50. I mean, Lara caught Wood the last time and knocked him out. That's what he does.
Mm,
Before that, he was winning the fight. If Lee Wood and Josh Warrington fight each other, I think that could be a relatively tight affair, because I think both of them would be wary of each other's strengths. They're not guys who really come out and go for it and try and finish it. So I would slightly favour Lee Wood to maybe win that in points, but I think it's a good fight, Elliot, for different reasons.
yeah, I'd still like to see it. I think Lee Wood's um turning 35 shortly. Josh Warrington's
Yeah,
past his best. That could be possibly a final kind of massive payday for both fighters, which I'd be in favor of, to be honest.
Yeah.
Final point. I know you're going to do a prediction video for this video, so um not gonna push you with prediction. Is there a certain way that you're leaning for this fight at all?
I know what way I want the fight to go, and I know what way I think it may go, and they are two very different things. Um, Rematches never turn out to be very different most of the time.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
think Lara has got the shot there to hurt anyone all night, and it's just very difficult at the moment to see Lee Wood being absolutely perfect and outboxing him. But I'm in the Lee Wood camp that night. Really want Lee Wood to win. I love a guy who fights someone who everyone thinks, why the hell are you fighting him with the power he's got? So at the moment, I'm swaying towards Lara by stoppage, but only because of how hard he hits. It's not that I think he's a better fighter than Lee Wood, but you know me, the closer it gets to fight week and things, I'll really go in depth then.
yeah. We shall see. I tend to, yeah. My prediction is I would say 70% sure that Lara will win again, and I actually think it could be a complete replica of the first fight in the
Yeah,
sense of stoppage around rounds 5 to 8 with Lee Wood up on all scorecards.
yeah,
I think it could be dangerously similar. I really do. I would love Lee Wood to do it. I just think at some point he's going to get caught. And
yeah,
look, just the way he kind of went down in that first fight, it was a heavy look. It was a heavy knockdown, wasn't it? I think in
yeah,
in hindsight, maybe it's kind of a good thing that fight got stopped.
yeah,
And I wouldn't want to see. I think I don't want to see Lee Woods get hurt, get knocked down, get back up again, and take more punishment. I don't really want to see that, to be honest.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm expecting the same result.
Yeah, I think that's quite fair, Elliot. I think it's a fight that's definitely, for different reasons, grabbed their imagination anyway, and it's a rematch that I do really want to see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna. I mean, I think it's obviously in Manchester. Yeah, in the Manchester Arena, 20,000. I mean, you would think it would do well ticket wise, and
Yeah,
yeah, I think yeah, I think it's gonna be one hell of a fight. It has all the makings to be. Final question from me, Greg. I think Lara, if he wins this, I think like he'll be kind of in the conversation of is this guy the best featherweight in the world? I know you're in a division, kind of Brandon Figueroa, someone I rate highly, Luis Alberto Lopez, who's obviously about to face Michael Conlan, Rob Z Ramirez, who's just beaten Isaac Dogbo. So it's one of the best divisions in boxing, in my opinion.
yeah,
If Lara beats Lee Wood again, how highly do you rate him in that kind of featherweight list? Would you say it's a tough question? I'll
yeah.
admit, but hopefully we see. Hopefully, the same with the lightweight division. We see these guys fight each other. I'd love to see that happen. But yeah, how highly do you rate Lara amongst those fighters?
Yeah, Elliot, see, because he punches like an absolute demon, that's why you've got to rate him really highly. I think Luis Alberto Lopez would give him hell, if I'm being honest with you. I just think he's got a style that would really be difficult for Lara. But I think you've got to have him top four. I think he's got to be in the top four. Those names that you mentioned there, Rob Z Ramirez, after I think he lost his professional debut, didn't he? It
Mm.
was yeah. See, after that, what a different guy he looks. He looks really dangerous at times. Luis Alberto Lopez, Michael Conlan. Yeah, you've got to have him round about top four for me. He's capable of beating anyone in the division because of how hard he hits, but in terms of talent, I think you've maybe got two or three guys ahead of him.
Cool, good stuff. All right, we'll leave things there. As always, really, I always look forward to fights more after I've had a chat with you about them. But yeah, May twenty
Appreciate that.
seventh, gonna be amazing. Gonna be, yeah, great fights. Really hope. I'll be honest, really would love Lee Wood to do it. But I think it's a big ask. Greg, thank you as always. For joining me. Anyone watching this video, please do check out the rest of our content on our YouTube channel and tell us what you think of it. Greg, thank you for your time, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay.
Thank you for having me, Elliot. Cheers.